Sylvia Cook is the Faith Community Coordinator with the Cumberland County Department of Social Services. She oversees the department's Faith in Action program, which started back in 1998 to assist families in moving up the ladder to self-sufficiency.
The Faith in Action program is a program that was initiated at the Department of Social Services that we would form a partnership with churches and organizations in the community to work with families who we were trying to help become successful and self-sufficient. So we go out to the organizations and we ask them and we share with them and give them show them how important it is for them to reach out to our families so that there can be a connect in the community, and the families will know that we at Department of Social Services care about them and that the local community cares about them also. The program, it was initiated in 1998. So it's about almost 12 years old to say, but it is a great program and I'm very pleased with it that we have an opportunity to work with the community, especially the churches and organizations, to help families. Our mission is to help families to understand and know that somebody cares. And usually when I go out for briefings, one of the main questions I ask, especially when I go to the churches, what is the first place that people go when they need help? And of course, that's always the churches. And then of course we have community organizations. So we use those resources with the understanding and the hope that families will be drawn to them to receive the help they need, and also instill in the churches and organizations, because actually some of them are very community-minded, so actually the very services that we're looking for them to help families with is they have already in place. Basically, the partnership, what happens is when I get out on the road, I get the phone calls, everything, and I go out and talk to them. And one of the main things that we look for, we ask the organization to form a faith team, or we ask the church to form a faith team. And this faith team consists of anywhere from 8 to 10 people, depending on the size of the group. And what we look for in this faith team is for them to provide certain skills or certain helpful resources for the family. Some of those resources include friendship. We just want somebody so that the families can have friendship, to know that they have someone to support them and help them in times of need. We ask them to help them with self-esteem issues, you know, because of course if you're a family and you're struggling, then you know there are definitely going to be some self-esteem issues. We ask for them to give help with jobs, how to get jobs, job skills, how to go for an interview. We even go so far as to ask them to help them to encourage people when they get kind of depressed about the situation, and when they go for looking for jobs, tell them how they should dress, help them to do resumes, tell them, show them the proper way to approach people. And sometimes it even goes to the point when people are already working, you know, sometimes on your jobs you can get a little frustrated, and sometimes you may make the wrong decision and just throw up your hands and walk off. So we even look for them to be able to encourage them. We ask them to do different kind of counseling for them, you know, and it's not necessarily always professional counseling, but as you know, most churches have some counseling systems in place that help families from across the board in any need they have. Then we ask them to provide tutoring and mentoring. There may be times when a family need help with transportation to get a job, because one of the things with Work First is we want them to stay gainfully employed, and we want them to become self-sufficient. So things like getting to work, having transportation, maybe emergency child care. Now, we're not looking for the church or organization to carry them all the way. You know, every day I need a ride to work, or every day I need to keep my child. But in this day and age, you know, the competition is very steep for keeping jobs. So if I call in and say, well, I can't come to work today because I have no one to keep my child, or if I call in and say, I don't have any transportation. Well, I'm not saying that all employers are hard, but they may not be as we want them to be, you know, give them a chance, you know, and they may feel they may have given them too many chances. So with a faith team in the works, we can say, well, you know, they can work together and say, okay, we'll get you to work. We won't help you get to work, or we can keep your child until you can make other arrangements. And then, of course, we look for tutoring, because a lot of our families, what used to be, not so much now, may not have the education level or the skills they need, or skills to do a lot of things that we may think come normally or naturally for us. So we ask for tutoring and mentoring in that aspect, and somebody to work with the children. We ask them to provide outings for the children. It's just so many things that they can do, and they're already in place. And a lot of them say, well, we already help people. Well, the difference in them already helping people is that we want them to help a particular family. And they don't have to be with them, you know, a long period of time. It might just need to be with them maybe 6 months. What we need may happen maybe 2 months. It's up to the individual, the family, and the organization. Well, we have numerous churches that are partnership with us. Well, we have the in-kind partners who we also rely on. And the interesting thing about that, now the churches who partnership with us, they actually have a family that they work with and that they do provide the services that I was telling you about. Now the in-kind partners, what they do is just really amazing. We work, again, like I say, with Work First families, but we find out that there are other families that are in need too. So when we find out that there's a need, whether it's with some of our families, and sometimes we get phone calls. So what I'll do is I'll reach out to these various churches or organizations. I send out mass emails. I may send out an email and say, we have a family. I recently had a family that had a 15-month-old, I think, and she maybe younger, and she died from SIDS. And so they needed help burying the child. So I sent out mass emails for that. It might have a family that needs furniture. I sent out mass emails. Listen, I really need your help to help this family, and they do respond. And also around the holidays, you know, the most difficult time for families, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, I don't get as much help as I want, but I'm pleased that I get as much as I get. Because for the past 2 years since I've been in the program, we've been able to, through the partnership with churches and organizations, to help at least over 200 and 300 families to provide Thanksgiving meals, which can be an entire basket of food, the whole fixings to have their own Thanksgiving meal. Or for Christmas, we ask them to provide a wish list for the children. And we have people who actually go out of their way to provide exactly what's on the list within reasonable means. So it's always issues like that. And then, of course, we have the Trims and Tresses program, where I can't forget the barbers and the beauty salons in the area, because before the children go back to school, we have a back-to-school program, and they actually fix over 50, 60, 80, 100 children, as many appointments I can get within a 2-week time span to get those children, for them to get ready to go back to school. And you can see that's a big morale booster too, because, you know, if you can't afford, because have time, well, but, you know, most people can't afford to, you know, do things like that for when they have children. So. And once they contact with me, I will make an arrangement with them to go and meet with their group, or the group leaders or individuals one-on-one. I will explain to them what the Faith in Action program is all about. I will explain to them how they can help. And if they say they are willing, then when they tell me they want to provide a faith team, then I will have them to set up a time that I can, you know, a training period, which is not real long, it's not real intense. And then I go and talk to them about it. I have no limitations on when I go. I mean, you know, I go during the week or after hours or on Saturdays. I try to reserve some other time for myself, but I'm just so willing, you know, if they call me up now, even as soon as they hear this segment, if I'm available, you know, we can make arrangements, and I will come and share with them about the Faith in Action program, because I always think that is a one-on-one, just explaining to them how, you know, what goes on, and just telling them how they can help and how important it is for them to help others, because others need them. And you know, the beautiful thing about it is a lot of times some of those people that I've even went to talk to, they have even benefited by the program, or they may have been receiving in the, benefits in the agency, so they can relate to people who are trying to make it and trying to become successful. But like I said earlier, I would be glad to come talk to them. Anyone can call me up, you can email me, or you can send me a letter, however you want to do it, and I'll be glad to come and explain the program to you. More than happy.